But getting back to Cook, they do need volunteers over there. We need to get people over there at Huntington headquarters from 10:30 until 8 o'clock at night, from now until Election Day, which is just this next Tuesday. And we also need some people over there in after hours on Monday night, because what we're going to do over there is we have some of these door hangers that we have identified as key voters that we need to get out. It's a get out the vote campaign. And we just pull up in front of the house, stick a thing on the door, and go to the next house. So we need as many volunteers to come down there as possible. If you've seen what's going on up at Huntington, Gene Cook was at one of our meetings. Oh, there he is. He's right here now, as a matter of fact. How about it? Good timing. We were just talking about you guys. Come on. Well, it was, that was great, man. No, it's funny. Good timing. We were just coming in. We were just talking about the campaign up there. And one of the things that they did is, Gene was up at a meeting of ours a couple of years ago, right after he was elected, there for 30 days. And he got up and he said a couple of words about what was going on, and actually it was quite impressive. As a matter of fact, within days of that video, we had sent it around to our circles and stuff like that. I had people calling from New York State and saying, my God, this guy's got to run for governor. Nobody's ever talked about their experience at town hall in such, obvious and common sense terms. And it was a tremendous thing, a tremendous video that made a tremendous impact. It was a tape that actually went viral, even though it was a local election, a town council seat, and the guy was in office for 30 days. So I was kind of amazed by the impact that it had. But there was one little comment in there, and we were just talking about it before you got here, and I think it was Ed Wolf, actually, I think it was you, Ed. You said, hey, Gene, you should bring a camera next time you go to these things like that. And, a little offhanded comment by Gene joking around. He said, maybe I'll bring a gun, laugh, yuck, 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 laugh, laugh, laugh. It was great. But what they did on the other side is they went to that 22-minute video and they took the 3.5-second clip and they've been playing it over and over and over again on radio and television. The number of pieces of material out there. Oh, I'll bring a gun to town hall. I mean, it's preposterous to begin with. I'm sure not too many people would believe it. But still, they went with that. They went with it. They went with it. They went with it. So we kind of called their bluff. That's why it's called the forbidden video. All right? That's what it is, right? The forbidden video. The forbidden video is the videotape of that night. Because if anybody listens to the forbidden video, they will vote for Gene Cook. It doesn't matter who they are. So what we did is we got the video, we recut it a little bit just to make it look a little nicer, and we called it the forbidden video. We went out into the social media, we started to distribute it, and it's gotten thousands and thousands of hits of people seeing the forbidden video. Now the comment, the offensive comment, is at minute 12 and a half. And the average time people listen to the video is about 6 to 6.5 minutes. So anybody who listens to it for that long is going to get a vote. And believe it or not, I had a couple of comments from people, kind of interesting. Some guy gets up and he says, I'm as liberal as they come. But damn, this guy sounds good. So kind of what we did is we called their bluff on it, and we dared people to listen to the video. They're still listening to it. It's still being promoted out there. And it's definitely working because we're getting the comments and we're getting the hits. Now the other thing about that method is that somebody who actually clicked and watched it consciously decided to do so. Because it said right on the promotion, it says, hey, you know what? This is the video everybody's talking about. This is the thing that they're running the campaign on. Like we dare you to watch it. And people are clicking, they're clicking, and commenting like, oh, this is great. So anyway, we kind of turned the tables on them. But the point I was getting to is that what's important in this race is that this is a microcosm of what's happening nationally. It's also what's going to be happening in 2014. We have an election coming up in the 1st Congressional District. I know Lee Zeldin has announced to run against Tim Bishop in the 1st CD. Now, if you recall, Tim Bishop was our first target 5 years ago. They sent us a couple of rotten candidates. They got their butts kicked, but we're going to finish that job this year. But they're going to run the same campaign against him that they're running against Gene Cook. And that's why it's important that we win that election as a lesson to the other side that money and lies and innuendo and character assassination don't work. And that's what we're hoping for. I want Gene to come up and say a couple of words. Josh Price's running mates are here too.
Thank you very much. I want everybody to know this is Josh Price, my right-hand guy, even though he's on my left. If you vote for me, please vote for him and Mark Mayoka. We need to change the whole town. Listen, guys, I got to tell you a funny story. Today, somebody walked in. I was at Republican headquarters. A fellow walked in and said, "Listen, I've seen all these negative, ads out on you about the guns and all this stuff." And he said, "I got online and I started researching." He said, "I couldn't believe what they've done to you." And I said, "Well, it's sad because some people will believe that." And he said, "I went through the whole thing," and Josh was there with me. He said, "I have a piece of property on the corner of Green Lawn Road and Pulaski, commercial property." He said, "I want you to plaster it with your signs. I want to see you, Josh Price, and Mark Mayoka in." That's what's happened when people look at what's going on. The video that I did the first 30 days was true. All those things that I saw. But I have to tell you, being there for almost 20 months now, it's horrendous. It's horrendous. The people that are running the town are running it for themselves, not for any of us. Okay? And we need to change that. Josh and I will do that. And Josh and I and Mark are the team that we need your help to get in on Tuesday. We also need you guys, anyone who can volunteer and walk, call, make phone calls, come to Republican headquarters and help us out. We need it, and if you could show up Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning, Tuesday, and drive people to the polling booth, that would be great. Whatever you can do, reach out, call your friends, neighbors, please. That's what we need, because I think it's going to be a very tight race.
Gene, we just show up there, we don't...
Well, you can call, but from what I understand, Republican headquarters will be open from 9 on. So, all righty? Thank you. Josh, would you like to say a couple of words?
If you don't mind.
Not at all.
It's been a very long campaign, and I've worked very hard. And the more that I think about it, and the more that I'm attacked, the more that Gene is attacked, and we kid about it, and he and I are able to lean on each other a little bit because it may not be so easy to understand what it is to be in our shoes when you get a robocall into your home and some guy named Rob from Northport is telling your 12-year-old daughter that her daddy wants to put assault rifles in every home and so on and so forth. When I decided to run for town council and you had asked me to make a list of the top 1,000 things that people would be attacking me on, I still wouldn't have gotten to what I'm being attacked on. And the reason I'm being attacked on an issue, whatever my stand may be, it has nothing to do with town council. And the reason why I'm being attacked on that issue is because if the Democrats have to run on their record, they have no shot. Gene is a conservative. A fiscal conservative at that. And I am a conservative. Now, I just said that with cameras running. I'm a conservative. I'm proud of it. And I'm not going to ever pretend that I'm anything else. Now, something that I want us to all wrap our arms around, if you don't mind my just talking for a couple of minutes. We're right on the issues. That's just fact. We are right on the issues. Frank Petrone and Mark Cuthbertson have raised our taxes in Huntington 17 out of the last 19 years. That's a fact. In every debate, they get up and talk about 0.25% increase here, and we're this and we're that, and then when it's my turn, I get up and I say, we can have our own opinions, we can have our own spins. We don't get to have our own facts. You raised our taxes in 17 of the last 19 years. When people talk about home ownership on Long Island and they talk about why the elderly have to sell their homes and move down south, it's because our taxes go up 17 out of 19 years. When we talk about young people graduating from college or graduating from a trade school, graduating from high school, they get married, they want to start out, they want to buy a house and they can't afford to. It's not because the mortgage payment's too high, it's because the taxes are too high. Electing Gene Cook, Mark Mayoka, Josh Price holds the line on taxes. It's a real issue with real consequences. And that leads me into the point I really want to make, the larger point. Throughout this campaign, whenever we have talked about issues, we have been correct. We just are. You know it, we know it, the voters know it, we're correct. But we're at a disadvantage in two ways. The first disadvantage is they have a lot more money than we do. I'm not a rich guy. I work for myself, I do okay, can go to a nice restaurant if I want to, but I'm not a rich guy. I ate through my savings. I really have no savings left. I've spent $75,000 of my own money on this race. I planned on spending $25,000. It's probably good that I'm not married. I'd be in big trouble. And people tell me how good I am with economics and fiscal policy and so on. I'm not sure that I've proved that by spending as much money as I have on this campaign. But the Democrats have so much more than us that you can't turn on the radio, you can't turn on the television, you can't go on an internet news site without there being a banner telling you that Gene Cook and Mark Mayoka are too extreme. Fortunately for me, before I popped up on their radar, they had spent their money, so my name didn't make it into some of their media. It made it into some, not all. We can't compete. Gene has spent a lot of his own money, I've spent a lot of my own money, and the money that Gene, Mark, and I have raised, we've spent it all. We've done everything we can. We've gone on TV, we've gone on radio, we've sent out direct mail pieces. We can't compete with them with money. So we have to compete with them with our ideas. The second place where we are at a disadvantage, and this we can overcome, we can do it if we want it badly enough. They are a machine. They've been in office for 20 years. They are a machine. They have people to go out and do things, the grunt work, the get your feet hurting work. We have far fewer people to do that. We have one weekend left. The Democrats are going to have all of their soldiers out, knocking on doors, stuffing mailboxes, hanging things on doorknobs. We do not have as many people as they do to do that. People who are supposed to know about elections tell us ideas are important, walking door to door throughout the campaign is important, direct mail is important, this is important, that is important. With about 5 days to go, 75% of the work of this campaign has been done. And as far as I'm concerned, it's either a draw or we're slightly ahead. But the last 25% of this campaign is getting people out to vote. It's not enough to be right. It has to be enough only if we win. Please, please, please. One of the things about working for myself is that I don't really have to ask anybody for anything. Running for office, a lot of that pride, a lot of that dignity has been stripped away. Suddenly, I think nothing of asking people for nothing, for something, I should say. Please, come to Republican headquarters this weekend. Please, walk an election district for us. It's 739A, Park Avenue, Huntington, New York, and the zip is 11743. And it's set back a little bit. It's right by Dejana. You'll see it. It's right Dejana Equipment. You'll see it back there. If you pop it into your GPS, you'll see it. I think I've talked a little longer than I should have, and I'm sorry that I've gone on. But I want. Gene always talks so much less than I do. But I just want to emphasize for you how hard we've worked and how close we are. Mark Cuthbertson started the year 2013 with $350,000 in his campaign account. You know how much he has left? Just about zero. You know why he spent $350,000? Because he's afraid he's going to lose. Let's make his fears come true. So please come. Thank you. The telephone number is 631-549-6800.